Okay, we are done with dividing polynomials using long division. This time, magde-divide naman tayo ng polynomials using synthetic division. Okay, ano nga ba ang division of polynomials using synthetic division? Ano ang synthetic division? Ang synthetic division ay shorthand or shortcut method of polynomial division in the special case of dividing by a linear factor. So, ito daw yung ating shortcut na pwede nating gawin bukod sa pag-divide ng polynomial using long division. Pero dapat daw naka-linear factor yung ating divisor. So, in using synthetic division, divisor must be a linear expression and the leading coefficient or the first number must be 1. So, dapat daw yung leading coefficient natin ay kailangan maging equal to 1. Example, yung x plus 3 or x minus 6. So, yung ating leading coefficient dito ay 1. Dito rin ay 1. So, kapag ka 2 yan, kailangan natin siyang gawing 1. Yung hindi natin pwedeng gamitin ay x squared plus 2. Kasi dito, hindi na siya linear expression. Bakit hindi na siya linear? Kasi yung exponent niya ay 2 na. So, this is quadratic expression na. Ang kailangan lang daw natin pwedeng gamitin ay linear expression. Dito naman, 3x squared minus x plus 7. Hindi na rin to pwede dahil ito ay hindi na linear. This is quadratic. Pwede rin naman ng quadratic as long as factorable siya. Kailangan siya i-transform sa linear. Pero itong dalawa, hindi na siya factorable. So, hindi natin to pwedeng gamitan ng synthetic division. And then, we only use the numerical coefficient of the dividend or yung p of x and the additive inverse of the constant c in the divisor x minus c. So, ang kailangan lang daw natin ay numerical coefficient o yung mga number sa tabi ng ating mga variables sa ating p of x o yung ating dividend. And syempre, additive inverse nung ating constant c sa divisor na x minus c. Ano nga ba ang additive inverse? Siya yung kabaliktarang sign ng ating c. So, kapag negative yung c, magiging positive yung gagamitin natin. Okay, let's have the example number 1. P of x is equal to 2x cubed plus 5x squared plus 9 divided by x plus 3. So, yung unang process natin, arrange the coefficient of the dividend, p of x in descending power of x. So, tingnan natin kung naka-arrange na siya. We have 3, 2, walang x, tapos 9. So, paano ang gagawin kapag walang x? Ika-copy natin yung mga coefficient. 2, lalagyan natin dito, 5, and then dahil walang x, kailangan natin lagyan ng 0 dito. Parang sa long division, kailangan natin palitan ng 0 yung term or yung power of x na nawawala. Then, we have here 9. Yan. So, yan yung ating first step. So, kailangan natin siya ilagay sa first row ng ating synthetic division. Ito yung ating first row. And then, dito yung ating second row. Ayan, sabi niya, if there are missing term, write 0 as placeholder. So, yung x na nawawala dito, yung x na term, kailangan natin palitan ng 0. Ito yung ating second row at dito sa ilalim yung ating third row. May proceed tayo yung next step natin. The leading coefficient becomes the first entry of the third row. So, ito yung ating leading coefficient dahil siya yung ating unang term at may pinakamataas na exponent. So, ang gagawin lang daw natin ay i-bring down natin sa ating third row. Ito yung ating third row. Next step is place the value of c in the upper left corner. Yung ating divisor ay x plus 3. So, yung value of c natin ay negative 3. Remember, yung additive inverse daw ng ating c. So, since positive yung c natin, ang kanyang additive inverse ay negative 3. Ilalagay natin siya dito sa upper left corner kung saan nakalagay itong parang pa-L na to. Ay fourth step, multiply the value of c with the first coefficient in the third row. Ito yung first coefficient sa third row, ita-times daw natin dun sa c natin. So, 2 times negative 3. Place the answer under the second coefficient. Ito yung ating second coefficient. So, yung answer sa 2 times negative 3 ay ilalagay natin dito sa baba ng 5. That is negative 6. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. My fifth step, determine the second number in the third row by getting the sum of the two terms above it. So, para makuha yung second number dito sa ating third row, i-add natin tong dalawang number sa ating first row at saka sa second row. So, 5 plus negative 6, that is equal to negative 1. Next step, repeat the process of multiplying c with the number in the third row, yung ating step 4 kanina. Ita-times natin itong c natin sa number sa ating third row. Writing it in the succeeding column in the second row. So, ilalagay natin yung sagot dito naman sa baba ng 0. And getting their sum, that is step 5 until you get the last number in the third row. So, ulit-ulitin lang natin yung process. Tuloy natin. Negative 1 times negative 3, that is equal to positive 3. Dito natin ilalagay sa baba ng 0. And then, i-add natin tong dalawa para makuha yung number sa third row. So, 0 plus 3 is 3. Next, proceed ulit tayo sa multiplication. 3 times negative 3, that is equal to negative 9. And then, add tayo, 9 plus negative 9, that is equal to 0. So, since wala nang number dito sa tabi ni 9 sa first row, stop na yung process natin. So, yung natira sa ilalim o yung sa third row natin, dito natin madidetermine yung ating quotient. Yung 0 ang ating remainder. And then, ang quotient natin, pwede natin siyang i-write as 2x squared minus x plus 3. Paano naging ganyan? Yung ating dividend kanina ay x cube. So, dahil x cube siya, pagdating sa quotient natin, bawasan natin ng isang exponent. So, magiging x squared yung simula ng ating quotient. So, since 2 yung number dito, ibig sabihin yung ating leading coefficient ng ating quotient ay 2 din. So, 2x squared and then negative 1 dito. So, sunod ng x squared ay x, kaya negative x. And then, yung 3 dito ay positive 3 or plus 3. Continue natin siya ng plus 3 dahil tapos na yung x. Kailangan naka-descending power pa rin yung ating x kapag nagsusulat tayo ng ating quotient. Then, 0 ang ating remainder, so wala nang kasunod yung 3 natin. Ang ating quotient ay 2x squared minus x plus 3. Proceed tayo sa example number 2. We have p of x equals x cubed plus 2x squared minus 3x plus 1 divided by x plus 1. Again, yung first step natin, kailangan nating i-write yung ating, i-check yung ating coefficient ng dividend natin sa descending power of x. So, dito check mo, 3, 2, 1, then 0. So, kailangan i-arrange. Kapag naka-arrange na, copy na natin yung ating coefficient. We have 1, 2, negative 3, 1. Lagay natin siya sa first row. We have 1, 2, negative 3, 1. Sa first row natin siya ilalagay. Since wala namang nawawalang power of x, kaya wala tayong insert na 0. And then, ayan, walang nawawalang power of x, kaya walang i-insert na 0. Next step, the leading coefficient becomes the first entry of the third row. So, bring down tayo ng 1 sa third row. Next, place the value of c in the upper left corner. Yung ating divisor ay x plus 1. So, ang ating additive inverse ng positive 1 ay negative 1. Yun yung ilalagay natin dun sa upper left corner na negative 1. fourth step, multiply the value of c with the first coefficient in the third row. So, ito times natin yung first coefficient sa third row dun sa ating value of c. So, 1 times negative 1. And then, place the answer under the second coefficient. So, under the second coefficient, which is 2, lagay natin yung answer sa 1 times negative 1, which is negative 1. Next step, determine the second number in the third row by getting the sum of the two terms above it. So, para makuha natin yung second number dito sa third row, i-add natin yung 2 tsaka negative 1. 2 plus negative 1 is equal to 1. Next step, repeat the process of multiplying c with the number in the third row, or yung step 4 natin kanina. Writing it in the succeeding column in the second row and getting their sum, or step 5 until you get the last number in the third row. So, repeat lang tayo ng process. So, eto na, yung 1, yung ating third row, i-times natin sa ating c. 1 times negative 1, that is equal to negative 1. Ilagay dun sa ating second row. And then, add natin tong dalawa para makuha yung ating third row. Negative 3 plus negative 1, that is negative 4. Then, multiply ulit tayo. Negative 4 times negative 1, that is positive 4. Ilagay natin sa second row. Add ulit tayo. 1 plus 4, that is 5. Since wala nang number dito sa tabi ni 1, stop na tayo ng process natin sa solve. So, from that, pwede na tayong write ng final answer. Yung last number natin would be our remainder. And then, ang ating quotient ay magiging x squared plus x minus 4 plus 5 over x plus 1. Dahil dito sa ating third row, yung ating dividend kanina ay nag-start sa x cubed. So, bawasan natin ng isa. 1 yung coefficient dito. So, ibig sabihin, yung ating leading coefficient ng quotient ay x squared. Ayan, from x cubed kanina sa dividend, sa ating quotient, magiging x squared na siya. Babawasan lagi ng isang degree. And then, continue tayo dun sa 1. Ito yung ating coefficient ng x. And then, ito yung ating constant na negative 4. Plus yung ating remainder na 5, and then lagay lang natin yung divisor na x plus 1. So, ang final answer is x squared plus x minus 4 plus 5 over x plus 1. Let's have our third example. P of x equals 10x raised to 5 minus 5x cubed plus 8x squared minus 1 divided by x minus 2. So, we need to arrange the coefficient of the dividend p of x in descending power of x. 5, 3, 2, and then constant na agad. So, medyo may nawawala tayo mga terms. Kailangan na natin isulat yung ating mga coefficients. Ilagay natin siya sa first row. And then, kapag may nawawalang term, kailangan palitan ng 0. Yan yung dahilan bakit may 0 tayo dito. Tsaka dito, dahil nawawala yung x raised to 4 at tsaka yung x. Ito yung x raised to 5, x raised to 4, x cubed, x squared, x at tsaka yung constant. So, para makontinue natin yung ating synthetic division, kailangan tayong maglagay ng 0 as a placeholder of the missing term. Next step, the leading coefficient become the first entry of the third row. Ito yung ating leading coefficient. So, bring down natin siya para maging first entry of the third row. Next naman, place the value of c in the upper left corner. So, ating c or yung divisor natin kanina ay x minus 2. So, ang ating c, ang additive inverse ng negative 2 is positive 2. Ilagay lang natin sa upper left corner na 2 dyan. Next naman, multiply the value of c with the first coefficient in the third row. So, ito yung value ng c natin, 2, tsaka 10 sa ating first coefficient sa third row. So, 2 times 10 is equal to 20. Place the answer under the second coefficient. So, yung 20 ilagay natin dun sa baba ng second coefficient ng ating second row. Next is determine the second number in the third row by getting the sum of the two terms above it. So, para makuha yung number dito sa third row o yung second number dito, i-add natin yung 0 tsaka 20. 0 plus 20 is 20. Next, proceed tayo. Repeat the process nung step 4 tsaka step 5. So, ang ating next step, 20 times 2 is equal to 40. Lagay natin dyan sa second row. Then, add natin ulit to. Negative 5 plus 40, that is 35. Then, multiply ulit. 35 times 2, that is 70. Lagay sa second row. 8 plus 70 is 78. Next, 78 times 2 is 156. Add ulit. 0 plus 156 is 156. Multiply ulit. 156 times 2 is 312. Then add negative 1 plus 312 is 311. Since complete na ating third row, 311 will be our remainder. Tapos yung quotient natin, kailangan bawasan natin ng isang exponent. Yung ating dividend kanina ay x raised to 5. So, ang ating quotient ay 10x raised to 4 na. Dahil dito sa ating third row na 10, then 20x cubed, 35x squared, 78x, 156, ito yung ating constant, tabi ng remainder, plus 311 over x minus 2. So, laging tatandaan, laging babawasan ng isa ang exponent ng quotient. From the dividend, minus 1, papuntang quotient. Next, identify the divisor, dividend, quotient, and remainder in the synthetic division setup below. So, ito yung ating synthetic division. Naka-complete na siya. Na-solve na siya. Ang kailangan lang natin na divisor, dividend, quotient, at saka remainder. So, yung ating divisor, ito, yung C natin ay 2. So, kunin natin yung kanyang additive inverse. So, ang magiging divisor natin ay x minus 2. Additive inverse ng 2 ay negative 2. Then, next, yung dividend natin, yung nasa taas. Ito yung nasa taas. So, we have here the constant, yung 1. Kaya, we have x squared, x cubed. So, start tayo sa x cubed plus 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. And then, next, yung ating quotient, sa ilalim naman siya makikita. So, dahil x cube yung dividend, start tayo sa x squared naman. Lagi minus 1. So, we have x squared, 4x, plus 5. And then, ito yung ating remainder. So, plus 11 over x minus 2. And ang remainder natin, of course, ay 11. Okay, next step. We need to identify the divisor, dividend, quotient, and remainder. Complete na yung ating synthetic division setup. So, identify natin ang divisor. Nandito natin makikita yung C. So, yung additive inverse ng ating divisor ay negative 3. Kaya, x minus 3 ang ating divisor. Ang ating dividend naman ay nasa first row. So, ito yung constant, x squared, x cubed, x raised to 4. So, start tayo sa x raised to 4. We have x raised to 4 minus 5x cubed. Tapos, 8x squared, 15x minus 2. Then, next, yung ating quotient nasa ilalim. And ito yung ating quotient. So, since x raised to 4 yung dividend, start naman tayo sa x cubed. Laging bawasan ng isa. So, mag-i-start tayo sa quotient sa x cubed minus 2x squared plus 2x plus 21. Of course, plus 61 over x minus 3 dahil ito na yung ating remainder which is equal to 61. Let's have another set, our third set of our synthetic division setup. So, we need to find the divisor. Ito yung ating C. So, yung additive inverse ng ating 3 ay negative 3. So, ang ating divisor ay x minus 3. Next, yung dividend natin ay nasa first row. Ayan, nasa first row. Since meron tayong 0 dito sa pagitan ng 2 tsaka negative 54, ibig sabihin merong nawawalang dalawang term. Ito yung ating constant. Sunod, ito yung coefficient ng x squared, x cubed. It means start tayo sa x cubed. Pagdating sa ating dividend. So, ang ating dividend ay 2x cubed minus 54 lang. Wala yung x squared at saka x na term. Kaya 0 sila dito. And then next, yung ating quotient na nasa third row. So, ayan, automatic 0 yung ating remainder. So, wala tayong remainder dyan. Start tayo. Ito yung constant. Ito yung x at saka yung x squared. Or, check natin sa dividend. Bawasan lang natin ng isa pagdating sa quotient. Kaya start tayo with 2 na leading coefficient ng ating quotient. We have 2x squared. Tapos, plus 6x plus 18. And, ang ating remainder is 0. Let's have the next set. Identify the divisor. Ito yung ating C. Negative 1. So, ang additive inverse niya ay positive 1. So, ang ating divisor ay x plus 1. Next, ito yung nandito yung ating dividend nasa first row. Medyo may nawawalang isang term. So, this is the constant. Ito yung ating coefficient ng x squared, tsaka x cubed. Ibig sabihin, yung x squared yung nawawalang term. Kaya ang ating dividend ay 3x raised to 3 plus 5x minus 1 dahil nawawala yung term na x squared. Then next, yung ating quotient nasa third row. Of course, laging bawasan ng isa. From dividend, pagdating sa quotient, babawasan ng isang exponent. So, start tayo sa 3x squared negative 3x plus 8 minus 9 over x plus 1. Ito yung ating divisor. And of course, ang remainder natin is negative 9. Okay, last set. Let's identify the divisor. Negative 2 yung C natin. So, ang additive inverse ng negative 2 ay positive 2. Ang ating divisor ay x plus 2. Next, yung dividend natin nasa third row. So, this is the constant coefficient of x squared, x cubed, x raised to 4. So, start tayo sa x raised to 4. Ang dividend natin ay 5x raised to 4, 6x cubed, negative 9x squared, negative 7x plus 6. Ayan. And then, next, proceed tayo sa ating quotient dito sa ating third row. So, bawasan lang natin ng isa, exponent yung ating dividend. So, ang ating quotient ay start sa x cubed. We have 5x cubed, negative 4x squared, negative x, negative 5, plus 16 over x plus 2. At ang ating remainder, of course, ay 16 or positive 16.